Bunnies 35 defeated the Broncos 6. Statistician
6 tries
supreme.
to 1. 3 out of 6 conversions for Souths and 1 out of 1 for the Broncos. We had our first 2-point field goal. It was a fucking good hit as well. And we had another field goal at the end of the game. A penalty goal for Souths
At exactly the point I said the first 2-point field goal would come.
Yeah, a couple of minutes before half time. We both said that. We said the only time they're going to take us just before half time or when they're trailing with a couple of minutes to go. 86% completions, played 71%. 37 out of 43 sets, played 25 out of 35. 8 line breaks to 2. 37 tackle busts to 23. 7 offloads to 13. A forced dropout for the Broncos, no 40-20s. 323 tackles, played 371. 2 ruck infringements from both sides. 3 out of 6 penalties. 3 penalties conceded by South, 6 to the Broncos. 8 errors, played 11. Host had 39 tackles, Turpin with 56, Burgess with 246 metres, and Huss with 170. South had 160 plus post-contact metres, more than the Broncos did, which tells you a bit about how the forward packs were going. Benji missed 3 tackles out of 22, Mead missed 5 out of 10, Milford missed 5 out of 19. Latrell with 138 Supercoach points, Gagai with 87. Then there was 4 other Souths players before you got down to Payne Haas with 70 Supercoach points.
I forgot my first point. Danaan, what do you think of the game? I've got the note. I had something else I was going to add that I didn't write down. Danaan, what do you think of the game? You can clear this away.
It wasn't as bad for the Broncos as what I thought it was going to be. I thought they were going to get done up by a lot more than the 6 tries to 1.
I suspect it's because Latrell could only be fucked for about 35 minutes.
For about half an hour.
He spent half the game just wandering around the backfield.
Was it even that long? That's what I mean. He's just geez, we're doing pretty well at the moment. I might come in here and set up a try, score a couple myself. They did miss. I know Benji's been amazing off the bench, but I got a feeling that if Cody Walker was there, they probably hit the 50.
Different style play. I think so. Benji's more expansive, Cody's more direct.
Yeah, and that's like you saw the 700 odd metre difference. If Cody's there on the back of that, I think they hit 50.
Barney?
Old Father Time got the first try. Jumped in off the back and snatched it up. Latrell probably should have been there, which would have been better for the Supercoach.
That's the Latrell difference, yeah.
But he was waiting out the back. I think he was thinking Coates might have grabbed it and run away with it, but. Cook started awesome. That first 20 minutes, half an hour, Cook was tearing them apart through the middle. Souths had that roll on, but then Broncos forward pack sort of kicked into gear and slowed that ruck down, so Cook couldn't get out and do what he normally does. The Souths backline is just miles ahead of the Brisbane backline. The Brisbane backline was pathetic at times, completely inept at different parts of the game. Turpin and Haas were probably the only blokes that you'd give a tick to. Again, just got through their work.
Haas is a one-man team. Genuinely, he carries
that team.
He's
got Turpin there now, too. He's making
and Lodge was good for Lodge's first team, kept them in the game.
He did.
I'll give him credit there.
Yep.
The rest, Haas is a superstar.
The rest of the Brisbane
and
team,
I've said it last year, the concern about
best.
that is that when he's 23, he's going to have 2 busted shoulders and
I don't know. He just looks like an absolute specimen, man. Yeah. He might just keep going forever.
I know. I love watching him, and I hope he is, but he could also be Aaron Woods by the time he's 30.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah, said that backline was just miles ahead. The Souths halves linked up pretty nice. Reynolds and Benji had a pretty nice combination there, which is not bad for your second choice,
I think it helps that Benji plays half hour every week anyway. Because when he comes on, they go to that sort of 2 fullback and push Benji into first receiver and have Cody wider. Yeah. You want to keep going?
No, that's about all I've got, mate.
My notes, I wanted to say that, and they have, but honestly, Kev, how it's taken you 6 rounds to pick 2 fucking halves is just why was Brody Croft on the bench? If you know, why? What was to be gained from that?
And then he gave him
the last 2 weeks, and then give him and the same the week before. You're wasting 1 interchange air.
And that's it. You compare it to a Benji who's on the bench.
Well, I get Benji being on the bench, but he's got
that's what I mean. And that's it. So Kevy's got.
But he comes on to complement the 2,
exactly.
Whereas Brody comes on to take one of them off.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
just doesn't work.
Or if you're going to do it with an hour to go when you're down by 20.
Yeah,
change something.
He leaves them both on, and he actually gives the middles a bit of a rest because they start playing towards the edges than and they can rotate that middle a little bit. Whereas when they're just dragging one off and bringing the other one on. It doesn't make sense at all.
Now, I want to... the quick one I mentioned. So Benji, stepped in, 2 line breaks, 1 line break assist, 1 tackle, try assist, 1 try, which isn't bad. Tom Burgess has been sensational all year. One of the concerns at the start of the year was the size of the pack, and he's not obviously in the top. He's not in the top 20% of size, but he's big enough for it. But he's realised that's his job to really set that up, and he has a couple of good partners in your Mark Nichols of the world that come on and help him out there.
Yep.
I think he's been sensational, and with all the reps on the spine,
and he took up a bit of that work from Kulamatangi that wasn't there.
Yeah, he needs to get those reps, and to the point where I just noticed he's a free agent in our draft, Barney, and I just picked him up.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
So you fools, Callan and Campbell. And I want to talk about Latrell. Like, Latrell's generally now my favourite player. Like, I just.
He's taken over 2-0.
He's still lazy. He's so lazy.
Yeah, well, that's why I love him, because he literally turns up for 40 minutes and still pumps out 1 field goal, 2 try assists, 1 try, 1 line break assist, 3 line breaks, and he didn't play for half of it. He just stood around. Some of those players were just waiting for a full, where a Papenaz would absolutely be sweeping off the back and chiming in.
It's just so
He's
hard
over in the back. He's just 40 metres away.
It reminds me of Jared Hayne. And when I used to have the shits at Hayne, because he is so good. If you had him playing for 80 minutes every week, you would hardly lose.
I also would like to think when they play Melbourne, he will. I could be wrong, but I would like to think, because, for example,
in round 1.
I think that the great analogy had that Benji first try, a Pappenhausen or a Teddy scores that, because he'd be standing there.
But in saying that, in the modern day, a lot of fullbacks don't chase kicks anymore.
Yeah, but he was about 30 metres behind the play.
Yeah, he was just wandering around.
Again, sorry to talk about the Eels, but Gutherson stands 20, 30. He doesn't. Charles Nickel Clockstack, I believe, is another one that just doesn't go for the high ball. They stand back.
Yeah. No, I can see that, but I felt that was a fullback play, but as Barney did, but it's... I know you say 100%.
Yeah, and that's it. So
maybe we're looking at all through...
Is that what's coached into?
Maybe it's all through Pappenhausen eyes these days.
Well, he was moving from the middle field towards the wing, like obviously looking to maybe cover.
My point was when he chimed in.
And that's what you mentioned earlier. What if Coates got that? Yeah. Mitchell was there. Is that something...
And he did wrap up. There was one where Coates... It did pop up to Coates, and he did wrap him up.
And is that Bennett just saying...
He raked it. He got one where he pulled the ball out of his hands and he hit him again another time.
Yeah. But he's just so hard to handle. When he's one-on-one with blokes, they very rarely bring him down.
Well,
this is why he was the best.
He's apparently 110 kilos and just his touch. And as you pointed out a couple of weeks back when I was looking at maybe holding on to him, he's always got that final touch. And when he just goes, he doesn't miss. Whereas, to use your Hayne analogy, if Hayne threw 3, one of them was ended up in a second row. Yeah, the other 2 might hit.
Yeah, I never thought he had that. Because obviously playing in centre, all you ever do is sort of tap it on. But now he's got that tap on, but he's got a lovely pass. Yeah. Right to left pass as well.
And all that creates is that thing where he can just take the hole if he gets it. And, he's now close to me. If he's not my favourite, he's close to it. And kudos to him for...
Just on the back of that, the Daggy M's.
Daggy M's. I'm giving him 3.
So am I.
2 to Benji, and then we can discuss why I had either Burgess, Huss or Reynolds. But I'm also happy if someone thinks Burgess or Reynolds deserves 2. Happy to discuss that, but I thought Benji was pretty good.
I had Campbell Graham as my 2, to be honest. I thought he did really well on that right-hand edge, and he gave them all sorts of trouble. And
who would your 1 be?
I had Murray or Burgess as my 1.
What do you reckon, Dan?
I had Burgess. If your forwards aren't laying the platform, your backs can't do the job.
No, I absolutely respect that. So let's say Latrell 3. Yep. Let's say Burgess 2.
Yeah, we'll put Burgess in for 2.
And who was on it? Cam Murray or Campbell Graham or Payne Haas? Oh, Benji 3. Benji 1.
Benji still played.
Okay, Latrell, Burgess, Benji, GT for that.